them the ability to arm themselves. You should give them the ability to do anything they want. And you're telling me that's a good idea when they don't think they need to protect them.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if you think it's a good idea or not. They deserve their own state. If they want to arm themselves and fight Israel, we're going to have to do it, just like Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt. We can't occupy and oppress every country that has a fraction that doesn't like us.
So let me ask you this. Assuming that we did that, and then they attacked us, do you think...
And we will attack them then, and they will have to use the mighty IDF. I'm sorry. See, if the mighty IDF that you people love so much, that did the Peeper attack, and this, and Iran, and that, cannot fucking defend the borders of a tiny little country, then what is the point?
So
what are you so afraid of? What are you so afraid of? That's a broken people that you oppressed for almost 100 years, left them destitute. And that's what you're scared of?
You ask me a question, I'll answer. What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of 10 to 20,000 Israeli casualties. That's what I'm afraid of.
Where are they going to come from? Where?
From a fully armed Palestinian state.
Really? So far, okay, then why don't the Palestinians get to say that? Do you know how many Palestinians and how many Israelis died between 48 and 7th of October? No, you don't. So I'll tell you. About 21,000 Israelis died in total. Soldiers, wars, terror attacks in total. Palestinians between 48 and October 7th, 121,000. How many Palestinians died since October 7th? The lightweight estimates talk about between 90 to 100,000. That's the lightweight, and that's just in Gaza. So who has the more rational, legitimate argument of being afraid of the other side being armed? Your arguments are so insane. You're telling me that you're scared of the Palestinians while you're literally exterminating each and every one of them, or at least trying to, and you're scared? Do you understand how preposterous it sounds?
Are the Palestinians fully armed now? Let me ask you this. If Hamas had the weaponry...
I'll do
listen
that.
to me for 1 second. Stop interrupting me. Stop right now interrupting me. Stop. If Hamas had the missiles that Iran has, would they have totally... their intent was to totally destroy Tel Aviv, Yerushalayim, that was their intent. They didn't have the weaponry to do it. What you're asking me to do now is give them the ability to obtain that weaponry, and let's see what happens. That's what you're telling me.
The entire Palestinian society became Hamas. Every time you get triggered, the supremacists and the Nazi
I don't need the whole fucking society. All I need is a group of radicals who are able to do this. That's all I need. I don't need.
So everywhere there is a group of people that hates you, according to you, that gives you cool, dude. Wait to run the world.
Yeah, you're hearing yourself.
I think, Ambrose, you might be the Nazi here.
Stop.
What up, Nargs?
Do you see where I get so frustrated, Nargis?
Yeah.
Ambrose, who's to say you're not the Nazi? Come on, be serious here. You're basically saying let's arm them and then go to war and have mass casualty events.
She didn't say that.
That's what she just said.
No, I didn't.
You said let's arm them and then let's see who will win the war.
No, that's not what I said. I literally didn't say it.
No, that's exactly
you people are nuts.
Hey, Zvi, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What are you willing to give up for peace?
Jordan, we gave it up already.
For true peace? If there was a guaranteed peace, I would have no problem with a two-state solution. What I'm not willing to give up is a Jewish state.
What's preventing that
Emrose,
solution?
Hold on, that's a reasonable position, right, Emrose?
Yes, but ask him what's preventing the two-state solution.
Trust.
We'll do a two-state solution.
So you don't trust the Palestinians? Why?
We need to leave Israel.
Why I don't trust the Palestinians?
Why do you not trust the Palestinians?
Because they tell me over and over again they want me gone.
No, they didn't. Their leadership said multiple times in the past 2 years that they want a 67-border solution and peace.
Wait, what?
Really? Go look up Mahmoud Abbas in the UN speeches, official statements from the PA in his office. Go look it up. I promise you. There are multiple of them. He actually hosted.
What power what does Abbas have?
Zvi, what step would you want the Palestinians to take as of today?
Me?
Zvi. That would give you a little more confidence in trust. A little more confidence.
I don't think this trust can be gained in the short term. It has to be over the long term.
Okay, what's
Always
that?
takes time.
That's okay. What's that?
No, it's not.
You're talking about.
At least you have the solution.
Zvi, what step? What's the first step? What does that look like as of today? As of Valentine's Day, what does it look like?
I'm thinking. I don't know. Let me
Okay,
think.
no problem. No problem.
Happy Valentine's Day to all you.
Yes. I still give out free marriage advice.
I'm not a institution. Don't jump.
My number one advice is don't be on Clubhouse on Valentine's Day. But just saying.
All I
Unless you
want
wanna
for
get
Valentine is a free. Wait, there is a slogan running on Twitter. All I want for Valentine is a free Palestine.
From your lips to God's ears.
God has not.
All right. Did we exhaust this topic, or is there more to say?
No, there's more to say. We're waiting. He's thinking about the next step.
I just wanted to make a brief comment.
Okay.
So, anyway, how do you make peace with people that, like what occupies their, sorry?
I just said,
Keep going.
Yeah, it just seems like, how do you make peace with people or negotiate with people that the ideology that occupies their mind is as such? I'll just read something briefly. It's just a paragraph. Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it, just as it obliterated others before it. So, I mean...
who wrote that paragraph?
So the idea is that, now how do you make peace with
Wait, whose ideology is that?
paragraph?
You gotta source it. You can't just say it represents all Israelis or all Jews.
No,
If it's yours,
it represents Hamas. I'm not saying it represents.
And again, Hamas is Palestinians for the millionth time.
No, that's not true.
Who asked you to make peace with Hamas? Did anybody here talk about negotiating with Hamas?
See, this is what you want to do. You want to try and make this something that is not ideological. It's merely
But again, so you are
Why are you interrupting me?
because you're attributing Hamas ideology to the entire people of
Let
Palestine.
him go. He really hates Egyptians.
All right, let me finish this point and then I have
Daniel, this is the thing, right?
They don't represent all
One
Palestinians.
second. The ideology is what is sort of driving a hope-like situation, right? Statements like these are exceptionally crude and blatant. I'm not gonna lie. However, it is also a hope-giving, underlying hope-giving statement. And one day, my ideology, my belief in God, will allow for me to not be oppressed anymore, to not be killed at the hands of these who hate me for whatever reason, right? So similar, probably a feeling that the Jews felt under the Nazis, and I think it's a kind of full circle that is coming around. However, these people have done.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I would just ask to see some parallel, something that will correlate from the Jewish struggle under Weimar Germany. But this is the fact of the matter is that there's an ideology that's not being addressed. If Israel can't exist, there's just no existence of Israel, and this is woven into the DNA, the very structure.
I'm sorry. Enough with this dehumanization fucking propaganda. You keep presenting your narrative as if it applies to every fucking Palestinian ever. Hamas are Palestinians. They hold that ideology. Fine. No negotiating that. But it doesn't represent all Palestinians. And you're framing it in a way that insists of showing it that way. Stop it. It's wrong.
Daniel, have you researched quotes that show the opposite from Palestinians, or did you just look for the Hamas?
thing going on here.
No, I mean, if I found a quote, a paragraph, and I read you a paragraph that suggested that Palestinians want peace and lasting peace with Israel, would that kind of nullify your point? Where would we go from there? You have a quote and I have a quote. And what do we do? How do we sort
No, that's not my argument.
Would your argument would be better?
No, I mean, that's not my argument. So here's your argument.
Let's go for your
You can argue against, you can argue against an argument that I'm not.
You presented a quote from attributed to a group instead of attributed to a person, which is how quotes work. And you said that you're trying to make some argument about their ideological position. So my response to that is, if I give you a quote with different ideological positions with the same group, so that being Palestinians,
See, you're saying, like, let's say there's a guy who cheated on Israel. That's a problem.
no, let's say there's a Palestinian named Muhammad. Let's say, no, but I'm interrupting because you're going down the road. Let's say there's a Palestinian named Muhammad that says, I would like to see a long-lasting peace with Israel. And we have two ideological positions from the same group of people. Where would we go from there? We start competing. So what's better?
I think we'd be able to distract from the argument. I mean, I do understand what you're saying. So, that's kind of like a pattern. There's quotes in here. And your quote being my quote. And that's not what I'm trying to do. So if you pay attention, I can actually correct you. The idea is that these quotes that are represented through a collective, they're ideological dogma. And this is the dogma of Hamas. Now, what can we know about the dogma of Hamas and its collective ideology? Well, we can look at the leaders of Hamas and we can see what they've said over long periods of time, and we can come to some conclusion as to what they think. And I'll give you a synthesis of it. This is what Hamas thinks. It is true that in reality there is an entity or a state called Israel. This is reality. But I do not deal with it from the point of view of recognizing or admitting it. As Mashal added that Hamas did not formally recognize Israel, but could accept the fact of its existence while advocating Palestinian rights. So I think what's happening here is we fail to recognize the ideological commitments, the things that are rattling around in the minds of those that have a direct effect on the complexion of this conflict. So we have to see those that have an effect on the complexion of this conflict, and you see what ideologies are rattling around in their mind, and we see that they're just abhorrent. We'll see something like Hamas has just no to the existence of Israel. That's another, and this is just the one synthesis of Hamas. Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it, just as it obliterated others before it. Now this, I argue, is the core ideology of Hamas. Not Palestinian people, but the people, those that are in a position to affect the complexion of the conflict, have these ideologies in mind when they do things like massacre and children, right? So that's the problem we have to address. It's not just merely some terrestrial debate about land ownership.
Doesn't this seem like doesn't this seem like Zionist?
Yeah, so once again,
You could have said this a lot. You could have just said Hamas is bad. Like, I don't know why you had to do that. But I actually retained your position. You could have just said Hamas is bad and dropped the pompous language. Okay, so Hamas is bad. Well, I agree with you. Next.
I would like to rebut that.
She's so good at this. So good.
What Israel did.
Once again, I to my friend Daniel. Daniel, for the years that you've known me, surely you have seen my aversion to water battery. that I have no choice but to use it at this moment. Rabbi Yosef, I don't know his last name. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. If Buttercup can help me.
It's McDickerson.
Mizrahi?
No.
Mizrahi?
Yes.
You're gonna take some crazy rabbi, Nargis. Come on. You're gonna take one rando crazy rabbi.
Exactly. Well, 1 second. One would be the symmetry breaker, right? However, like as much as he is not considered much of a weighty rabbi within, say, the American Jewish community, since they did refute him for the things that he has said, it seems like he's also kind of pointing out some sort of ideological similarity that he would pronounce to hold like weight within Judaism itself, that he is a representative of, therefore representative of his people per se.
No, Marcus, no. Representative of Judaism is not representative of Israel or Zionism. And if you want a good
That's what I'm
example,
trying to make. Hamas is not necessarily representative of every Palestinian.
of course it's not, and it's preposterous to
That's
assume
the
that.
point I'm
But if
making.
we're talking about statements, I want to give you two statements. I'm not going to tell you who they're from, but I'm going to tell you what they mean.
One rabbi's opinion or one group's opinion is not the opinion of the collective.
But this is Hamas is and always will be a political party within Palestine, and that's their ideology. They're a political party, not a random imam or rabbi or priest, and that's fine.
We're like cherry picking Israeli Zionists.
Hold on. But if you want to talk about statements that come from public representatives, then I want to give you two further examples, okay? And we can talk about who said them. The first would be that those children brought that upon themselves. The second one would be we have successfully prevented the establishment of a Palestinian state. So those two statements.
Never had one lesson.
Came from an opposition member in the Yair Lapid party, Mirav Ben Ari, who actually said on the Knesset floor that children in Gaza brought this upon themselves.
Ribono Shalom, the children of Gaza did this? How stupid could you be? Hello?
After they announced the new security regulations in territories 8.
People are fucking crazy. They repeat themselves. They're fucking so stupid.
And which ideology represents
Hello?
people within that society? Because we can play that game.
You misunderstood Daniel. Daniel just says Hamas is bad.
Hamas is the entire Palestine.
No. He corrected me. He corrected me when I said that. He corrected me when I said that. He corrected that I misunderstood his position.
Okay.
His actual position is Hamas is bad. He just chose my words.
Okay, so now can we ask? So do we
I'll just start
want
here. So I take on Penrose. I take on board like the abhorrent claims that look, I've heard even nasty things coming from the other side. But the fact of the matter is, we have to look at this ideology, how much it permeates the society of which these ideas reside.
Well, what about Zionism? And is it also a supremacist foundation?
I know. Absolutely.
As Larry pointed out.
Why is there no... I'll be quick, I suppose. The idea is that if we look at Hamas, and what Hamas represents, and we look at how favorable the population is to use this ideology, you see something strike. So we'll see someone say, a Jew, say something
can you
like,
tell me how do you know how popular the ideology is?
His point. Just answer my end of sentence. Go. Finish your sentence.
there are a few polls which we can refer to. So there's actually polling data we can refer to. It's not just stuff.
Okay.
The idea is that, alright. So the idea is that to what degree these sentiments represent what's in the minds of the population. Well, we can look at
Never had one lesson.
Hamas is bad. IDF is bad.
Daniel started by saying I misunderstood his position. His position was he wasn't projecting Hamas's ideology on the entire Palestinian people. I'm sorry, Amrose. Then he said, let me correct myself, and he said Hamas is bad. Then he said, let me again further explain my position, which is exactly where we started. Daniel, you owe us all 10 minutes. You owe us all 10 minutes. You stole it from us.
I want to get in here with the energy. Let me just say something.
Okay, so to read it to Daniel. Listen, what he's saying is something we discussed in the It's a dead horse. Let me tell you the dead horse that Daniel's beating. It's the horse we beat over and over again in these rooms. It's basically that Hamas is bad, yeah, no shit, and that polls show wide support for Hamas in the Palestinian public. And the next step is let's debunk the polls or say why we don't think that it's representative. Look at this. Okay? Because that's what you just told me.
It's not my point. Actually,
I don't know you guys.
Exactly. Daniel, go.
Okay, clarify it once again.
yeah, so
By the way, I just had to put that out there. We're Catholics.
the objection is, well, let's look at Daniel's point. Daniel's point is that Hamas bad.
Wait, I thought we were letting Daniel finish.
Don't interrupt, Megatron.
All right, so the idea is that look at this trope that Daniel's presenting. That and Daniel's full chest up, where Daniel says things like, "Well, Hamas bad, the majority of Palestinians are Hamas." That's not been my point. And I've been trying. Unsuccessfully.
I assume you're referring to the polls, right? Which suggests there's widespread support.
Did he not say that we need to look at the ideology of the way we manifest in society?
We give Daniel to make
Wait, I want to steal man.
when you make this statement, you say, "That's my point."
Can I steal man? Can I steal man?
You would know you need Daniel.
Daniel, just get it out.
Wednesday, I don't need your.
Let me get it off my chest.
Wednesday.
I
He
won't
needs
be
to
able to
say it, and then he just needs to get it off his chest.
Oh my God, Daniel, go.
Yeah, get it off your chest, Daniel.
Blue balling us, Daniel.
But the objection is like, well, there goes Daniel again. He's like, Hamas bad. Majority Palestinians agree Hamas, and then like deserve genocide. Like this is like what's true.
No, I didn't go that far. It's legitimate that there are polls that say that. It's not truth. It's true that there are polls.
The problem with what's happening here with liberals, which I consider many of you, all of you liberals, is that you fail to understand just how potent religious ideology is, given how liberal you are. You fail to understand just how motivated people are by their eschatology.
Once again, the Hamas ideology is a
Let him finish. Good Lord. What is this? A fish market? Are we peasants?
Are we not
Are we not civilized humans?
Yeah.
Focus
Are
on
we
the
8
topic.
years old and we need to hear the same argument again and again and again and again before I understand? We understand that he's not going to go anywhere with it.
No.
He's gonna make it.
Those are 3-4 minutes of my life. I'm gonna fucking get back. Daniel, you just keep going in circles saying nothing, okay?
Let him finish.
It is funny.
Finish, he's done. Finish.
I'm gonna steal man. I'm gonna steal man.
1 minute.
Let it be common.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal.
Jinder is such a man. I love you, Jinder.
When are the Goyim gonna get a chance?
Yeah, can I steal man? Daniel's
Go, you just sit in that place and shut them out. Go ahead, Daniel. You
All
can.
my point is like, so amongst you liberals, which I consider you to be liberals, none of you are pretty much God. None of you are God-fearing. None of you understand the magnitude or the degree to which religious ideology motivates individuals.
This is not the topic.
I want him to finish so I can get my chance.
Can I steal man? No, shut up.
Well, let me finish my thought. So the idea is that what the liberals want to do is to focus on like this is just a terrestrial dispute about land and things like that. There's no religious or eschatological or religious ideological motivation in the people involved. So what you're doing is essentially just ignoring. you're looking at it from your liberal lens, where you don't consider religion to be something that would motivate an individual to die, to sacrifice themselves, to be a martyr, to die for God. Now, the idea is that, yes, there are people on the opposite side in Palestine that will and are willing to die for a religious ideology. But what you want to do is play patty cakes and say, well, it's just about land, and we're going to talk about like the terrestrial grievances and this and that. But no.
Land.
What's rattling around, and I'll just land, and what's rattling around in the minds of the Palestinian people, by and large, is paradise.
Okay, thank you. Now you're talking to Emrose, who literally lived in Israel, and I lived in Israel during the Intifadas.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Yeah,
something.
Jindeep, go ahead.
Okay, I don't really have much. I don't have much to say. Hold on. I don't have much to say to this guy, but I'm gonna say something in Arabic. Please. You just.
Right.
You didn't know.
Okay, so Daniel, did you make your point?
That's like the only Arabic phrase I know.
No, I'd like to know if Daniel made his
My
point.
turn.
When are the Goyim going to get a
All
chance?
right, Emrose is going to tell you if she doesn't know about religious ideology. Go.
Well, Daniel.
You do know about eschatological Islamic ideology, right? So you can read it in the Hadith corpus. Bukhari.
Oh my God.
Oh dear God, Islamophobe. Okay, look, I'm not even going to address what you said specifically. I'm going to address this as a general example, right? Like a teaching moment. This is a classic waste of time. This is a classic Hasbara agent. There is, no matter what we did,
We saw it coming from our perspective.
hold on. The thing trying to push at first that all Palestinians are Hamas. We agreed Hamas is bad. We agree not all Palestinians are Hamas, and then he goes back to all Palestinians are Hamas. And then we start with the religious ideology, which is, by the way, before we went to the religious ideology, I gave you examples of two public officials, Israeli, right, that were elected, one from the opposition, one from the coalition. You said nothing about what that means about the ideology that Israelis believe in, right? That was completely redundant to you. But now you want to go to religious ideology. Let's talk about that. Hamas, first of all, was funded by Israel for a very long time. They're literally in control because, for fuck's sake, they're literally in control because Bibi, the one you are having the photograph of, actually paid for Hamas for many, many years. That's number one. That's number one. Number two, religious ideology. Israel doesn't separate church and state. Palestinian constitution, or at least that they have now, does separate church and state. Israel has many religious representatives in the government, including two that were literally convicted of terrorism motivated by religious ideology. I'm not applying that to all Israelis. You're again trying to apply that to all Palestinians. And third, you talk about Islam. Palestinians come in many shapes, ways, and colors. They can be blonde with blue eyes. There are Afro-Palestinians. There are Muslims. There are Samaritans. There are Christians. And there are atheists. But you insist that not just that all Palestinians are Hamas, all of them are fanatic religion people that come from Islam. And again, we go to the point.
Just like me, I'm a fanatic. Just like me.
Oh my God, you gotta let me go after this, Nargis, please.
Instead of using this to have a productive conversation about ending the occupation, we ended up in a 30. No, Nargis, hold on. I'm not here to make friends. There's an agenda. If we're going to let every fucking idiot make that argument for half an hour, we're going to do this forever, and we have no time. I'm sorry for what I'm going to say, Jindeep. Jindeep might not be able to talk to us within a few months because the West Bank is being sieged more and more every day, and we have to debunk fucking Islamophobe ignorance. How is that productive or helping anyone?
How do you feel?
Okay, so can I hear it?
Rose, say Christ is Lord. Say it.
Girl, you're going down.
Fuck off, idiot.
Oh wait, yo, Buttercup, can I talk to you? Is that possible?
I'm sorry, Jindeep, for what I said. I was just trying
I'll be free to respond after.
Don't worry, I'll go hide in a church.
And I want my chance after Megatron.
I'll hide in my attic. I'll clear up the guest.
Okay.
But Emrose, I acknowledged your objection and I respected it.
I'm done wasting time on you. That's exactly the point. No more wasting time on you and moving on to productive conversation.
I understand.
Next topic. Next topic.
I don't get to respond.
No, you shouldn't.
Because you guys respond to each other's responses.
How come I'm the only one who comes into your rooms? It's just so entertaining. Which room are you streaming?
It's called
All right. So
Bible and Quran?
no. Is liberal Zionism dead? Church of Buttercup 2 is the house.
The idea. I understand your objection. I'm telling you, this is not the objection that I made.
Amir is upset because Buttercup is stealing all his thunder, taking his audience.
Looking at this conflict through the eyes.
Really? What did he say?
Dude, it's embarrassing.
He keeps talking about you and how he claims you're defending Epstein.
I know more than you about this. Relax.
You know what?
I know a lot.
Whatever you know.
Amir keeps claiming that you're defending Epstein. Say.
Whatever you know, the quality of your information.
You want to pretend. But this is not in the eyes of many of the people that are involved in this conflict. But the fact of the matter is they're escalating.
Shut up.
What the fuck is a cosmic trunk?
It's not a cosmopolitan conflict. There are people. Enough. There are people dying, not all over the world, in very specific places. Some of those people are in danger, and they're sitting on this stage now. You don't get to minimize it. Don't get to annex it. And enough wasting everybody's time. Enough. You have to, guys. Like, come on. Like, there's a level of enough is enough. You want to sit here and jerk around all day?
What is it that fear to respond?
Oh my goodness.
I don't get it. It's just an objection.
Daniel, you're suggesting that she's naive. She lives in a fucking war zone. Like, she knows what she's fucking talking about.
He meant ideologically.
It's not ideologically naive. She lives in a fucking war zone. She's the last person who's
ideologically as in religiously.
No, she's not.
Because it's not religion.
I'm not saying what he's saying. I'm not saying what he's saying is right.
Religion. I am the religion, but
I'm not saying what he's saying is right. I think that's what he means.
I know, but but people who live in Israel, even if they're secular, doesn't mean that they're naive about religion. They live in like the Mecca of religion.
He might be a very skilled bullshit artist. That's pretty much it. But
all right, Megatron.
He's not even skilled. I don't know. Like, he's average at best. I've much far better.
Okay, very mediocre quality.
I just want to know the position. So is Emrose is she Israeli or is she a Muslim?
She's a Palestinian.
This guy here. So what does that mean? She's a Mizrahi Jew?
She's Catholic.
Is she a Mizrahi Jew?
She's a Mizrahi Palestinian.
I'm reptilian. I'm a moon child.
Don't. Well, then, if you want me to respond intelligently, then please.
You literally asked me whether I'm an Israeli or a Muslim.
We tried
That's like a logical question to ask.
Daniel, we tried the intellectual responses with Daniel. It didn't work.
You were just saying.
I much prefer Lobra.
By looking at your profile, you say anti-Zionist.
This is not a binary. There's many Muslims who are Israelis, right? This is what you don't understand.
Mizrahi, so she's a Mizrahi Jew.
No,
right?
Mizrahi Jews are not Muslim, you fucking moron.
Alright, well, no, Muslims are Muslims.
Google Israel and Google demographics and then ask your question.
Can we stop playing guess the religion?
Whatever. I don't know what Palestine is.
Is he trolling, Nargis? I can't tell.
No, I'm not trolling. I don't know what Palestine is. I know what Gaza is.
Sometimes it's very. Divinity can be sometimes very entertaining. You know that, right?
What's going on?
Okay, so you said just give into it and like go to the black.
Okay, is it my turn? Because I've been waiting.
Sure, just let me roll a joint before
it's
that.
It's not going to be a serious question, I swear.
I want to take hardcore drugs.
We made a new rule. If you have fucking Epstein in your profile, you're not coming up. I can't have the ghost of Epstein every single fucking stage. It's like
Thank you.
Yes.
All
right, I'll change it, but can I ask my question?
You can't change it. Yeah, first change.
Right, I'll change it.
We'll move him down while he changes.
Yeah, go think about what you did.
Okay, when he changes it, we'll bring it back up.
Why you motherfuckers get all crazy the moment I made mod? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't think I can bring it back up.
Hold on, let me refresh and see what he did.
He's changing the other room. Make sure the door's closed.
Okay, he has some picture of a guy with a flag, potentially a crusader.
Okay. I wanted to get back to you. I do not have a good answer to your question.
All right, can I say my thing? Earlier when they said Israel's separation of church and government, it's not necessarily a separation. It's more of a synagogue where my rabbi had a problem approximately 2,000 years ago. Where he kicked the merchandisers out. I waited to talk my part. Please don't jump in.
Land your point, please.
My point is that they put the markets in the synagogues where it's supposed to be a holy place.
Thank you.
This is not the Christian room, bro. Wrong room.
Emerald, I have a question.
SV, I have a suggestion.
With you, this is just a simple question, innocent question. How do you know what's in the minds of the average Palestinian?
Mind control.
Many ways. First of all,
the best we have.
First of all, my day job, which I'm not going to disclose, but that means I actually talk to Palestinians on a day-to-day basis for many, many hours. Second of all, my activism, I also talk to Palestinians for many, many, many hours. Second of all, there are polls, there are data, there are facts on the ground. There are people that you can talk to. There are statements that you can listen to. And more than anything, and I want to make this very, very clear, the point of a two-state solution actually means that you do not get to say batshit nothing. If the entire Palestinian community decided that Hamas is God tomorrow, they still get to do that because that's the right to self-determination. Determine your own fate. If they want to determine a fate of Hamas is God, let's fight Israel to the death, we're going to have to deal with it. But they have a right to determine their own fate. And just because somebody elects leaders that hate you doesn't give you the right to occupy and oppress them. Because if that was the case, we would need to occupy. Well, that makes sense. Now I get why we're trying to occupy the entire Middle East. We kind of got used to the concept. Oh, I'm having a light bulb moment. But you see my point? So even if that ideology scares the shit out of you, it's none of your business.
Thank you very much for your answer. The soapbox diatribe afterwards was necessary for the answer, but I thank you for the answer.
I think there are two words.
When they can manipulate you or control you.
He is a respectful guy. I think he's very far to the right of us, but I think he actually is an intelligent guy, and he is thoughtful.
See, I assume they're just two words running in their mind. Never again. Never again. Never again. What you do to others comes back to you. This is what.
Respectfully, Nargis, never do that again. The use of the Holocaust.
They're probably feeling very similarly. Very similarly.
I want you to understand my perspective on this, okay? From my perspective, and my father's entire family, except for my grandfather, was wiped out in the Holocaust. To me, using the Holocaust as a test, I don't care, Nargis. It's grace to my murdered family who's their tragedy to justify another Holocaust, and I won't have it. Not in my presence. The Holocaust was a monstrosity, but it doesn't give us the right to do it to us, no matter how scared we are. It's never, ever an excuse. And I won't have my family's memory desecrated by using it to justify these. Enough of it.
Let me just mention, I did not make that argument.
He didn't, and I want to point out that both sides use both sides. Like Nargis points out, both sides use the memory of the Holocaust for their own argument. I invoke the Holocaust all the fucking time because to me it resembles echoes of what my great grandparents went through. Right. So I think we're both of using the memory of our.
You get to do that. Others don't.
But so I think people see how people invoke the Holocaust, the memory of the Holocaust, for their own convenient reasons, right? And so I try to be at least consistent and at least not hypocritical. That if I get to invoke the Holocaust because I see skinny, emaciated children, and they remind me of Holocaust photos, then they also get to.
No, they don't get to use it to justify. No, they don't get to use it to justify atrocities.
Not to justify atrocities, but like they use it to describe October 7, right? They use
Nargis said that the only thing that crosses their mind is never again, never again.
No, that's what she meant by that. What did you mean by that, Nargis? Do you want to clarify?
No, so please ask me. I'm open to explain. I'm on your side. It's human empathy, right? They're also going through similar kind of extermination, if not more or less, one could say like similar, right?
The Palestinians.
Yeah. So he asked, what do you think is going on in the mind of a Palestinian?
I'm so sorry, Nargis.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so that's what I meant. So he's probably thinking, never again. Like, I'd rather die than live like in humiliation. I'd rather die than... That's what's it's just human empathy.
Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes,
we're all super sensitive to it. We're all super sensitive to it.
Naturally.
Because I think growing up in the Jewish community, everyone's trying to weaponize the Holocaust for their own purposes.
Did you remember when Zvi said before, it's a necessary evil? This is exactly what they use. And it's disrespectful and it's horrible. Holocaust doesn't.
What is the Palestinian? What are feeling? And I'm thinking a child is probably saying,
"What
they want to my parents die like this? Never again do I want to live like this." Like it's such.
I think the slogan for Jewish Voice for Peace, and if not now, is never again.
Why did you call that creepy?
You want me to publicize the message or something?
Go ahead. Do you think I have any shame?
Okay. Joe was trying to convert me to Catholicism because he says they're anti-Zionists, and I'll be embraced by the Catholics. The Catholics who tried to kill us, right? Who killed probably more Jews than any.
Read it out loud now.
Okay, I have an off-topic question. Why is everybody on the Clubhouse obsessed with religion? You guys never shut up about religion.
We actually have conviction and we have a faith and we're not like you.
You shouldn't have asked. You're going to regret asking that question.
I'm right? I've
you don't
never...
You don't like Zionism. You don't like...
Okay, sorry, you're too noisy. Emrose, I think because we hang out in the Israel. Let me finish my point. We hang out in the Israel-Palestine rooms, which are kind of tangentially related to the Christian atheist.
No, they're not. They're not supposed to be.
They overlap in the type of people that are interested in these topics, so we end up overlapping with the type of people that move in and out.
But you do understand that this is not a religious conflict, right? Everybody here understands it.
People who are invested and have the stamina to talk about this ad nauseum tend to also have an interest in religion and theology and philosophy.
Benny, hold on. Jindy, are you here?
I am here, and this is not a religious conflict.
You know exactly. How come the only two people who actually live here are telling you this is not a religious conflict?
Because in the diaspora, that's what inspires people's interest in it.
I'm not saying it is a religious conflict, but the reason why a lot of people do get caught up in the religious, in religion in general, right? Clubhouse, maybe in particular, it's about conviction. Religion is the source for a lot of people of their beliefs, their morals, their values, right? Just as you have these kinds of convictions
whose source is not derived from religion, derived from secular society, the Enlightenment, yada, yada, yada. And you have strong convictions in that. I believe that you do. Similarly, a lot of people, most people, derive those convictions from revelation, Holy Scripture, so on and so forth.
Benny, but do you
So in the same way that you are obsessed with the Enlightenment and secular values, those people are obsessed with,
okay, but hold on. I want to say something.
Rose for a sec?
Hold on. No, hold on. Benny, the thing is, and that's okay, people can have the conviction, that can be their motivation for activism and whatever. But the minute you start imposing that affiliation onto the occupation and making it part of it, you're actually working with the Hasbara. They're dying to make this a holy war, right? They're dying to make it a holy war, especially lately. And it's not.
Is it a racial war? What is it?
Shut up. We've been trying to explain this, and this is why I asked Jindeep for a very long time. Stop making it about religion because it's only making it worse. It's not about religion. It's wrong and right. Occupying. That's it. They don't care if Palestinians are Jews, Christians, or Muslims. At this point, I'm almost as bad as a Palestinian to them. It doesn't. It's not about religion.
If they were Jews, they would care. Hold on. No. For a lot of people, I'm not saying inherently it is a religious war, but for a lot of people involved, it is. Like, look at how the Samaritans were treated as opposed to the Muslims and Christians in the West Bank. Samaritans were given citizenship.
No, they were offered citizenship. Those who didn't take them, what happened to them?
Okay, yeah. But why were the Samaritans offered citizenship as opposed to the Muslims and Christians?
Jewish supremacy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's not
for a lot of people involved, it is about religion.
No,
this has nothing to do with religion. This conflict is not about religion.
I'm not saying inherently. I'm not saying inherently.
Why is this room so reactive?
If the godless Japanese or Chinese moved it, if they moved it to Palestine, the idea of Zionism will have the same problem. It has nothing to do with religion, okay? It has nothing.
But if they were Jewish, they wouldn't have. That's Jewish supremacy. Yeah, they treat the goy the same. Sure, whether they're Japanese or.
One more time. Judaism is an ethno-religion. Ethnicity is a definition of shared culture, heritage, traditions. Religion is religion. So they were offered the citizenship because they could affiliate to one of the two. The second they rejected it, they became the enemy. Doesn't matter that they're still Jewish. They rejected the Jewish supremacy, so they're the enemy. At the same time, hold on. At the same time, you could claim that people who are not Jewish but do accept Zionism and Jewish supremacy, like Druze, get a higher status in the hierarchy system, right? They're not as good as Jews, but they serve in the IDF, they accept Zionism, so they get extra credit for that.
Look, you see...
Something about Samaritans, I know something about
anti-Semitic.
Samaritans are... It's like a Reddit.
Is that not true? So you guys just said Jewish supremacy. That's what she just said.
Can we get like the insults off the stage? I'm sorry, Drew.
Emrose,
Bye.
Emrose, do you know that there are Samaritans in Cologne? There is a community of Samaritans in Cologne. They are citizens.
What about
Yes. The Samaritans were offered citizenship. Part of them took it, and roughly about 800 didn't take it back then. Today, the Samaritan community in the West Bank is approximately 2,000 people. If you come to X, I can also introduce you to Faya, who is a really sweet, amazing Palestinian Samaritan, and many others. It proves that Israel will give a status to anybody that can serve two purposes: be part of the Jewish majority they need, and accept the Jewish supremacy between the river and the sea. You get that, you get accepted into the circle. Within the circle, there are different levels. There is the privileged Jew, then you will have other levels, but you're still in the circle. The circle has its own supremacy inside, but you're in the circle. You can be Jewish, but reject Jewish supremacy and Zionism like the Samaritans, and since they are actually Palestinians. Oh, for fuck's sake.
They're not.
They were okay. Benny Adam, have I ever explained to you about the two-tier system of perception of Judaism in Israel? How you can actually be Jewish enough to receive the citizenship, but not Jewish enough to have babies, get married.
Yes, I know. I'm fully aware of
I
it.
know, Benny Adam, you want to call them Israelites, right?
They're not actually Jews. Right?
Enough.
I can't,
enough.
Weird, no, fucking weird.
Enough.
You don't say, what do you
Enough.
them not
You're
Jews?
derailing the conversation.
They're not.
Okay, we're really trying to explain to you people to take religion out of it and help us have a productive conversation. And religion has nothing to do with it.
Also, if we're doing the Semitic Olympics, I'm in.
It's not a direct cause, but it has an under factor to it. And if we are going to completely over religion, okay, Ambrose, we're not being honest to the situation. It may not be directly caused though, right? But it obviously it has its roots, it's showing its face on and off here and there. So perhaps we could address that if you find it necessary. We don't have to.
Okay, look, you're right. And the problem with the occupation is that on the one hand, there is validity to say it's complicated, right? Nobody can say that it's insanely simple. On the other hand, it actually is. It's really, really simple. Don't occupy, equal rights, like the most basic thing there is. And then, so yes, when people are well, hold on, Ego,
Eagle, come on, Eagle, stop it, Eagle,
Just
quiet,
a question.
Eagle,
About the occupation, to clarify the term occupation.
Eagle, I have been here.
Eagle, you קטעת לי את חוט המחשבה, די, זה לא לעניין. Shit, I forgot what I was saying.
We were saying
what I was saying.
No occupation.
What I was saying. Yeah, thank you, Jason. Oh, for fuck's sake, enough. Let me finish and then you can ask, okay?
Is in your opinion Tel Aviv occupied?
Eagle, you need to be quiet. I have tried to hear what Emrose has to say for probably 10 or 20 minutes. And literally, she has not been able to finish what she has to say. Stop doing this, all right?
I want to give this guy a job. Thank you, Jason. Again, for the last time, Nargis, I agree with you. There's definitely a component to it, and there is the conversation of the complexity that we can have. But I think it needs a little bit more. Like it's, let's say we're in class number 1. We can get there when we're at class 15, because right now the basic understandings of what this is extremely. I don't know, unsecured or loose on this. Like the very basic, this is not a religious conflict. How they use religion into it in both sides, in both ways, what have they done with it, how it impacted perception of those faith across the world, sure. Those are all valid rabbit holes. But the very basic understanding, everybody has to understand and accept, it's not a religious conflict. And then we can maybe go into the complexities. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah.
I'm asking very simple question. I agree that the occupation is a major problem. I agree about it. But what is your definition of the occupation? Is Israel itself an occupied territory?
Legally speaking,
this is a very simple question. Yes or no? This is an occupied territory.
She heard you. Yes or no? Answer the question.
No. But legally, no. Morally, yes.
Politically? Practically, is it occupied regarding the solution of the...
Practically means legally, which means no. Moral-wise, yes.
So in case of two states, we still remain with occupation.
Yeah, not only do we remain with an occupation, we remain with one state that is still...
in case of two states, we still remain...
In case of two states, yes, I believe morally we will still be occupying people.
Have still the right to resist.
But no. This is where this is the problem. That it's not just about the two-state solution. Because if you still, this is why I advocate for a one-state solution. To me, having a smaller Zionist state is a small step forward. I don't want a Zionist state at all, because a Zionist state effectively means a Jewish supremacy that will always end up oppressing anyone who is not Jewish, whether it be light oppression or extreme oppression. Doesn't matter. It will still be oppressive. And that is something I do not agree with and never will agree with. I can understand a two-state as an intermediate solution towards true democracy because we're being pragmatic. But principle-wise, moral-wise, no, I will never agree with a system that is inherently racist and oppressive.
The remaining national
I
states.
posit that in a case of a
National states
one-state solution, the Jews will be oppressed. Has to be.
Nobody should be oppressed. Why will they be oppressed?
Excuse me. Look at 2,000 years of history. That's all.
Jesus fucked my life.
What?
You know what? My optical nerve is anti-Semitic. Just leave it there.
I didn't know you had that funny structure, bro.
I can't do it anymore. I can't. And the minute they ran out of argument, 2,000 years.
But Jews are thriving in
How is that running out of arguments?
You know what? It's ridiculous because you claim you have the right to return after being gone for 2,000 years, but somehow Palestinians who've been gone less than 100 don't. That's why it's a stupid argument, but you keep making it.
No, my argument against the Palestinian right of return is my belief that the Jews need a Jewish state. End of story.
Yes, you are willing to commit evil atrocities because you think you have more right to be safe than Palestinians. That is why you're a bad person.
Yeah, I want to add, it's not.
I'm a bad person.
Sweet, I want to add that it's not worth the cost of Palestinians, for sure not, but also not worth the cost to Jews, okay? It's not making Jews safer in Israel or anywhere in the world. And yes, thousands of years... Yes, stop. For thousands of years, being in a minority was a threat, and it was hard for us, right? But now we've become the very thing that used to oppress us, and we must. But today, in the last 100 years, Jews are actually thriving in the diaspora. So we need a new model, a model that suits the current day, and the current model is making us more unsafe. You have it flipped.
I will assure you now that what has been the case in the last 100 years will not be the case over the next 20 years. I guarantee it.
But I would argue the status quo in Israel is contributing to that.
I would argue that Israel is a threat to Jews and Judaism in general, ultimately.
100%.
You can make that argument, that's fine. All I know is personally,
I approve that message.
I pray 3 times a day for the return to Zion and Yerushalayim. That's what I do.
Daniel, do you want to talk about religious ideology? And about how a religious ideology... Where's Daniel? Where's Daniel with his religious ideology now?
Can I share what I pray for?
Daniel, I thought he was secular.
Shane wants to
share. Go ahead. Okay, I pray for peace in the Middle East. Edward, what do you pray for?
I pray for the same exact thing and the end of occupation.
Anyone else want to join Zvi in sharing what they pray for?
Don't ask me where I pray because I don't don't ask me shit because I don't pray.
Okay. You'll pray when I become your wife. It's no problem.
You still got it for him, eh? You still got it from him.
You're kidding me? Who doesn't have it for Jinder? Are you kidding me?
Ladies, man.
I would quote Bad Bunny. The only way to defeat hate is through love. Thank you.
It got really awkward when all the women started flirting with Jinder.
Seriously.
I mean, you guys want us to leave?
Congratulations, Jinder.
You guys want to be alone with Jinder?
I have a lot of sympathy.
To be blushing now? I'm blushing.
Where's that Jinder, man?
Here's your mic, bro. Here's your mic.
I have a lot of sympathy with Zvi's position. Okay, maybe the last 20 years, maybe the last 50 years have been great for Jews, but in the long run, is that the way to bet? Maybe it's not the way to bet. Maybe you should wait at least 200 years for sure that the good times are going to continue. And in the meantime, Israel is a backup plan and a very valuable backup plan for Jews.
So
you think
They're like fleeing. Israelis are fleeing.
No, I have a question. Do you think
Why are Israelis fleeing?
Do you think if every Jew in the world moved back to Palestine and the Middle East in general, they will not be absorbed in the region in a very peaceful way, without the idea of Zionism, without the idea of the state of Israel? You don't think that's possible?
Well,
I think the region is big enough to absorb every Jew that lives anywhere in the world to be absorbed in the region in a very peaceful way, without the so-called state of Israel.
If I may answer your question.
Of course, I know you're going to answer your question because you're going to tell me Jews lived here, they were tortured there. I understand.
Answer your question, okay? And Arab countries are very poorly governed, and some of them are getting a little better, but they have been basket case countries for 70-something years. And Israel is a very well-governed country. Whatever else you can say about it, it's a very well-governed country. Okay, it's done a lot of amazing things in terms of technology and establishing research universities and defense, in particular, defense technology. And so that's not a reasonable thing to do, to go live in a bunch of poorly governed countries. That's going to change.
Nobody asked him to do that, so Jason, and that's...
Well, he was talking about moving back to the Middle East without Israel, but those are poorly governed countries.
No, he was talking about the fact that Jews, with the lack of Zionism and occupation, are more than welcome.
Topo Chico.
They were always part of the social fabric.
Twist of lime. Mineral water, carbonated naturally.
Actual solutions.
From Monterey.
Nobody's denying Jewish history and Jewish persecution. And nobody's
established in 1895.
That Jews have a connection to the land, right? But there is propositions on the table, and I spoke about this before. A constitutional democracy. One of the constitutional clause offers an ability that is like an exception in immigration policy that allows family members of citizens, whether they are Palestinians or Jews, in case they can prove persecution, to get safe haven. We recognize.
What do you think about Algeria related to Iran?
We talked about all this. Algeria is a province in Iran.
What about Ted Cruz?
A moving vehicle. I am allowed to shoot into that moving vehicle, but I am not allowed to stand in front of that vehicle.
I don't know where you got your training.
It is in my best interest to not.
I don't know about Norm and the other the young lady you're referring to. I can get Norm defending him because, like I said, they're gonna defend each other to the max. I said that earlier. Yeah, but I'm a Jew too, bro, and I would never defend that. Yeah, you're one of those that won't, but Norm is. They will defend, like I don't know, I'm here in New York City. A lot of them do not. I don't want to use that word as them, but a lot of Jews do not defend Epstein. But Norm is one of them, and I expect it from Norm, of course. It's atrocious. I'm tired of speaking on Epstein, and he's not here, allegedly. Because we all didn't see a dead body, but he's not here. So, they need to go after Ghislaine because she was a major role in what was going on as well. Fire to them. Fire burn on them. Truthfully.
No, I hear you. Anybody else want to come up? You guys are welcome to come on up. The
That's the thing. There's a lot. It's like a can of worms.
Hello? 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 Hello?
I was the Buttercup show once. So she's trying to open up these rooms every day, right? They're trying to copy, so Prince tried it, and he couldn't get the people to keep the people together. And Buttercup is having problems because what ends up happening is, especially when girls open up rooms, right? There's a lot of creeps on this app. They will try to dox them, and just for getting removed out of the room, or just for getting kicked out of the room. They'll try to do anything to sort of like go after them. You know what I'm saying? And and it's crazy. So that's the part myself, I don't understand. I've seen it happen time after time, opening up rooms on girls' name and this and that. I even seen some girls cry just because there was this one girl a long time ago. They opened about 30 rooms on her, and she started crying. About 20, 30 rooms. Every day they have a room up with her name on it. For getting out, kicked out, moved down. Very sensitive, very sensitive. I got removed out of a whole bunch of rooms before. I never opened a single room anybody's name. I'm like, I got plenty of other rooms I can jump in. It's okay. What's done is done. It's not a big deal. And then it is what it is. Craig, we cornered Norm yesterday, and he started defending Epstein yesterday again. He wouldn't call him a pedo, as usual. So this is why, this is why we're gonna make sure he doesn't, and then he's a.
We can talk about it's all connected. Our safety is dependent on each other's safety. That's the thing. Like, it's one person's safety is dependent on the others. You can't have, neither of us are safe as long as the Palestinians.
They're not seeing the
I
connection.
think that people's behavior is also connected to people's safety. For example, I think that what's going on with the Epstein files is going to have
You're going down.
more of an effect on
Jesus Christ.
So long as we don't realize.
Is this guy a real guy or troll?
Probably a troll.
I don't know.
So long as we do not understand each other's connectedness, so long as we do not understand and acknowledge that what happens to one will necessarily follow up affecting the other, so long as we do not understand this, acknowledge this, and realize this, we will always create bloodshed. And this is something I think the world needs to sort of understand.
It's like a no-brainer. It's like, why is it so hard for people to understand this?
Because it's not. Just quick question.
Go ahead.
Edward, Jinjib, did one of you disagree with anything I said? Do you have any reservations?
I think you're an undercover Palestinian, bro.
You see, so we just established a one state within this room because we actually know what the problems are.
Ambrose, I used to know a guy who used to say, "Ani Yahudim, Ani Lo," so the word in Zionism in Hebrew. Correct. Yeah, that's what he used to like. He used to tell me, "Ani Yahudi. I have nothing to do with Zionism. I'm just a Jew.
This is why I said
I'm just a Jewish person. I'm just Jewish."
Zionist. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just you see, I'm sorry, but Israeli to Palestinians, this is it. We solved it. It's that simple, Darkest. Do you understand why it's so frustrating? We can make it complicated, but we can also just make it.
It's not complicated.
I know.
I think it's very simple, but you need to accept some ideas about military realism very uncomfortable, and then it's simple, okay? But it's very uncomfortable.
What military realism?
The ideas you need to accept are that the security of Israel is a linchpin to security for the Middle East. And so we want Israel to be as secure as possible, as strong as possible. And then that is the keystone.
Do you know that
we're going to use that.
The best way to achieve it is to end the occupation. Literally, the best way to achieve security for everybody between the river and the sea is to end the occupation. If that is your goal, that is the ultimate solution. No occupation, no resistance, no problem. Like 57 Muslim countries stood on the UN in 2024 said we will ensure the prosperity and security of Israel within the borders of 67. Literally, if you want to ensure the security of Israel and the fucking occupation, everything is solved. Look, magic, poof.
Those are just promises.
They keep repeating this thing is the linchpin of the whole solution is the linchpin security for the state. How about the linchpin of the security of the Palestinians? Once you give them security and safety, I think that the issue is solved.
No, it is not solved because they cannot govern themselves and they cannot provide.
How do you know we can't govern ourselves? How do you know?
Look, I'll finish up here. How do you know? They need to be. Look, let me finish up. I'll be brief. Okay, please.
And the West is not willing to create more problems.
No. The West is coming with solutions.
I think Israel don't know how to govern.
We understand how to do it. And
you had a prime minister for 18 years.
I'm going to finish up here.
He wants to destroy the Supreme Court. You understand? You could
finish up, Edward.
Let him do his fascist manifesto.
They do not know how to govern themselves. Israel is excellent at providing security. They should be a subsidiary state and a partner of Israel. And that's the only way they will have security. And they will need. I will finish up here. I will finish up here.
We're listening because honestly, I don't know if I've ever met someone as annoying as Emrose, and I'm thinking about renouncing Judaism because if Emrose is Jewish, you know what? You can keep it, Grace. Everybody, I'm out, Grace. Emrose has destroyed my Judaism because she is such a schmuck. Anyways, we could listen to Amir, but I don't know. I am amazed at Emrose. You don't know what somebody's situation is like on the other end of their phone, but she's got incredible energy to just talk over people, very low awareness. And so, the thing is, it's if you're not going to read anything or talk anything about anything other than this, you're crazy. You're a crazy person, in my opinion. Your mental health is really bad if you think that you have to save these people from dying because they're all dying now. You're crazy. I'm a, pro-life candidate. And I got to tell you, we're killing 3,000 babies a day in America. So, I believe in priorities of saving. That's what a good martyr does. And in my opinion, enforcing the law and protecting yourself against terrorists. And, I've seen these videos from the October 7th attack, and there was a girl on here who claims that she was there. And she was talking about, anyways, I won't go into it. What I'm trying to tell you is it really sucks when you get hit by a hand grenade, by a mortar, by a rifle, by a handgun, by a knife. When somebody burns you, these are really just the worst. And I've seen the pictures and I've seen the shock on the faces of people who are literally bleeding out and they can't believe what just happened. So, it's Valentine's Day, and I just want to say, love now, love intelligence, really. Intelligent love and love intelligence. Those are the two magic words of the day, Grace. Love intelligence and intelligent love. Love under will, because it's my belief, Grace, that these people aren't even in control of themselves anymore. Someone like Emrose or Buttercup is not in control of who they are or what their story is. Other signals and other information is actually in control of their brains. And so I just find it amazing to like be the private witness for what I consider, like a malfunction. Hello?
Yes, I just, you know what, we're done with Buttercup, most of the Jewish community, so,
See that she can be, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because what she's doing is providing content. She's actually like, Oprah Winfrey. Like, you can't chuck her, not just yet, because what you really want is people talking, because, I'm recording. And I think when people come on here and they actually admit to terrorist activity, like, that's the value that she can provide, because I don't know, nobody else wants to talk to these people. So, there's not a speck of dust out of place in the whole universe. She's somewhere over there,
has really uprooted the Jewish community on this app, and who knows what she thinks. I don't at all have anything to do with her.
I know, but she's got
It's important that we know what she says, though. It's very important to know what she says.
She's got a spirit, and I believe that spirit is political. And, nobody is throwing a punch on this app. Everything here is a game. And I've got the volume turned down, because the truth is, you're in control. Meaning I'm in control. You're in control. Everybody's in control of what they're doing here. Listening or speaking. I call it the 1530 rule. We say 1,500 words a day, and we listen to 3,000 words a day. And you are going to be insane if you sit there and listen to Buttercup and M. Rose do their 3,000 words a day.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We've learned our lesson in the Jewish community, unfortunately.
But see, if she's not willing to play with you, well, then, you can't play with her. I mean, if you can't reverse program or condition or suggest or read poetry, they are, in my opinion, not healthy.
It's interesting that she really left, the Jewish community on here, a lot of them just, won't tolerate her anymore, but she went right to Amir, and that's where she should be.
Well,
those are her people.
The thing is, the Jewish community here is not like other Jewish communities. It's very, very childish. It's totally amateur. It's vulgar. It's profane. It's stupid. It's petty. And the thing about the green bean thing is it feeds people's ego like they're a parasite. Moderate everybody, and don't let anybody, just moderate everybody. That way you don't have to moderate. You see what I'm saying? If somebody wants to insult somebody, anyways, it's a waste of time, Grace. That's it. Jewish clubhouse, Muslim clubhouse, Christian clubhouse.
Yeah, I'm not in that. We have a small group of people that we've been doing Havdalah and things, so I think I'm in a different group than you're talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
There's other people
are having
here.
Havdalah. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I wouldn't go into those type of rooms. I'm not just looking to be in Jewish rooms. One is that, I'm a clergy person, so I want to be with people who are seriously, talking about how they want to, be in the Jewish community, how they want to study, what they want to talk about, relevancy. I don't have that kind of, generalized understanding of what goes on here. But I do know that Buttercup has tried to, turn everything upside down when we all first started and we weren't taking it.
Well, she goes by the name Buttercup. I mean...
Yeah, and she's been all over here, and she's been going from one place to another to find her people. I hope she finds her people. But she's very destructive to the Jewish community. And everybody's not going to tolerate it anymore. So.
Well, again, it's a question of content. You're not going to tolerate her content because really it's stupid. It's like, yeah.
You're absolutely right at the core of it. But she has tried to turn over a couple of tables, and everybody,
Yeah,
people,
that's what they're supposed to do. If you're a paid worker for a nonprofit engaged in this type of stuff, I mean, they all use their buzzwords, and everybody just repeats them over and over again. And the key word of the day today is liberal Zionism, Dad. It's so stupid. It's like, this is why I mock people, Grace. All of these people are so worthy of my mockery. And I'm just so happy to be able to mock them because, maybe one day they'll know that they were being made fun of the whole time. And they'll look back and say, oh my God, he was mocking me and I will not be mocked.
I know it's
no mockery.
Yeah, but she did do some damage to people, and
she can't do any damage. She's a worthless, meaningless nothing. She's just a fart in the wind.
Yeah, but I think some people, came into the Jewish rooms initially, and it was really, good for people to, have Havdalah. People had different kinds of approaches to Judaism, and it really worked wonderfully. Whatever their niche was, it worked, and it was nice people. And then she kept going from room to room, and
well, I hate to admit it, I'm kind of the same way, but like not in her way. Like if people are doing something special, like I'm not going to interrupt them. But again, when Buttercup and Emrose have combined their forces, now we've force multiplied the brain rot. So let's just tune back in real quickly and hear what comes out of the genie bottle this Valentine's Day. Now remember, this is Valentine's Day. This is a night for the love between people, man, woman, whatever it is. But this is how these women are spending their Jewish Valentine's Day.
bombing people.
I think you were asking what the 200 and something Palestinians.
I was asking what the F-35s were doing.
Bombing
people. Are you sure? I thought you were asking about the 2035 kits. What do they do?
Also, Grace, I do have a theory that can help mitigate a lot of the annoyance of listening to these people, is that what you're really listening to is people who are not native English speakers wanting to improve their English language skills. And they're using this conference call as a way to do that. But they're not actually improving their language, but that's actually what they want to do, because what they're talking about is it's all just propaganda projection. So again, I think, people might not understand what's happening within the conference calls that are happening, primarily with people who are not native English speakers. It's just a theory, but it seems to be 100% true. Therefore, it could be a fact.
Was it recent or like early in the war? Like what
no, probably in the past year, something like that.
Something like that. You see, Grace? No, just listen to Emrose and the way she speaks. It's never a complete sentence. A lot of broken English.
But I'm saying, even when they do,
even then,
the thing is that you have to understand what
the thing is.
Okay, I'm not gonna go there.
You see, it's not even like coherent thoughts. It's like broken, jarbled. See, that's why I say you don't know what somebody's condition is on the other end of this phone. Emrose is a completely ineffective speaker. She's like this huge crybaby. And I hate to say it, Igal is actually kind of the same way too. You see what I'm saying, Grace? This is actually an ESL, simulator.
Money to Qatar. Is that like the exchange? That's why they got money in cash bags.
I think Igal has a very good point.
What kind of thinking is this about?
There's also people here that don't take showers, and they stink bad. I've seen their photos.
You shouldn't
I don't know a lot about Igal. What's Igal's point?
You don't have respect for you.
Can you tell me if you can understand it? It's not coherent thoughts. And I hear people contradicting themselves 2 to 3 times in their own sentence.
I was joking because it's nonsense. we were under attack of missiles from Hamas, from Iran, and Israel developed all kinds of anti-missile systems, which are also sold. We also sold them.
Nobody sold about the
Is it better? What is the claim about?
Okay, let me tell you, Igal, you got attacked from my country because you attacked us. Have you ever?
No, actually, the first attack was here from Iran. No.
Oh my God.
No.
Okay.
The first attack was from Iran.
Oh my God.
Let's not do this. Who came first then? Like,
It is a response. This is the whole issue here of resistance. Is resisting to response, right? It's an act. It's a cause and effect kind of a situation.
Narcissus is another one incapable of actually. See, the problem is there's no time, and so people are just very short. It's all just dopamine boosts. That's it. But nothing actually. There's no point.
Say through the proxies Iran head first.
What I like is take.
It's very clear what happened. It was the Israelis attacked Iran's consulate.
See, I would take a statement like "It's very clear what happened" and put that into Sora. I'd just make a video called "It's very clear what happened." That would be it. So we get these like generalized statements that we can clip that basically we don't want to know their context. We want to know like the setup prior to the context.
So the Israelis attack Iran's sword, which was Iran's consulate in Syria, and they killed a lot of people, as usual. And then Iran retaliated by sending them some missiles and drones. That's what happened.